Well, hey, entrepreneurs, welcome back to another episode of the Social Media for Bosses talk show, the place to be to grow a profitable business through smart social media marketing. Today, we are talking all about how you can be an irresistible guest speaker on live streams and podcasts and make it easy for hosts to say yes to getting you on their shows. So today, we're breaking down all those fun things you need to know to make sure that people are saying yes when you're reaching out to them and to make sure that you're prepared when they start to reach out to you to get you on their show. Now, before we dive in, I do want to let you guys know we do have some breaking social media world news. Yesterday, Instagram announced that they are actually going to be doing messenger rooms just like Facebook. Now, we know with this that Facebook owns Instagram. So they're actually using the same infrastructure that they are using on the Facebook Messenger room to be able to do this over on Instagram. They're actually going to be rolling this out to WhatsApp as well and some of their other acquisitions too. And tomorrow we are dropping a video for you guys on how to do this. So the buttons that you need to be hitting to make this actually work, how many people you can have in the room, hint, it's 50. The fact that you can actually do some really cool things like screen sharing, and we are going to be breaking down the best part, which is how you as an entrepreneur can actually use this as an upsell in your business to make more money with like no extra effort. I'm super excited for this one. I'm going to be breaking all that down for you tomorrow. But if you're excited about the new messenger rooms, get in my chat box, get in my comments, and let me know just how excited you are for this, because really cool things are happening in the world of social media right now. And you can level up your game to grow your business before anybody else so that you are getting the most bang for your buck. I'm really excited for this one. I think you will be too. I can't wait to drop that video tomorrow to teach you how you can be using this inside of your business. Before we dive in, we do want to give a couple of shout outs. People are saying amazing how technology keeps growing. I didn't even know about Instagram Messenger groups. Thanks for some great information. We did talk a little bit about this yesterday during our live stream or Ask Me Anything, where for 20 minutes I'm answering your questions in real time so that we can get you on the right track a little bit faster. Wow, I didn't even know about this when it comes to messenger groups. Awesome tips as always. And Victoria says, I didn't know about this capability. Thank you for sharing. So we are breaking news to you as it happens. And these are things that you don't want to miss so that you can level up your game. All right, friends, are you ready? Because we're about to dive in and have a conversation about how you can make yourself absolutely irresistible as a guest speaker so that you can get yourself booked on more podcasts and more live streams. And you guys know this is something that I absolutely love doing. I love jumping in and speaking on these different platforms. And this is kind of some of the things that I do to make sure that I am an easy choice for people to make to have as a guest on their shows. So the first thing that we need to know, the first thing we need to think about is when you are a guest and you are in a conversation to potentially be on a show of any kind, you need to make sure you are giving people a fleshed out pitch. So when you are reaching out to them and asking if you can be on their show, if you are posting in groups, if you are wherever, whatever, if you're having conversations even in person, you need to have a fleshed out pitch. You cannot just come up to someone and say, I would like to be on your show. You can't just come up to somebody and say, I would like to be on your show. I kind of teach about these things. If you come up to them with a fleshed out pitch, and we are talking bullet point for bullet point, you are much more likely to have them say yes than if you said, I'm this kind of a person, I would like to be on your show. So for me, as someone who teaches social media strategy, if I'm going to someone and saying, I think I can provide value to you and to your followers, here's what I would like to speak on, I am going to actually give them a fleshed out version of what I want to talk about. I'm not going to be vague about it. I'm not going to worry that somebody's going to steal my ideas. I'm not going to worry that somebody else is going to steal it or see it and take it. That's okay. Nobody's going to teach the same way that I teach. And so I give a fully fleshed out, like, I want to talk about this point, this point, this point, and this point. Now, you don't have to do like the sub bullet points under that. That's a little extreme. They don't really necessarily need to know that, at least not right up front. So having those main topics. So I would say maybe I want to talk about the new Facebook and Instagram messenger rooms. Maybe that's the conversation I want to have. So my bullet points might consist of what it is, why it's useful, what buttons you need to hit to set it up, and then how to use it inside of your business as an upsell to make more money. So those would be my bullet points. I would kind of break it down in that fashion so that the speaker, the host, the person who's running the show knows exactly what I'm going to be saying when I come on their show. And if I have enough to back up an actual episode of the show. So don't be vague, friends, and do not leave out the bullet points. It's going to be really important. when people come to me to ask to be on my show, if they say, well, I kind of speak on these different topics, I don't really know what they want to talk about on my show. And that makes me have to do the work. If I have to figure out what they're going to be talking about, if I have to figure out what the conversation is, that's just extra work on me. Chances are I am not going to want to work with that person unless they've got a really, really good backlog if I take the time to look them up. So you need to make sure that you are completely ready to speak and showing me that you are a prepared potential guest speaker on my shows. Now, you do need to show why it matters to their followers. So when you are approaching someone or when you're having a conversation with people about potentially being on their show, you have to give value to their people. So if you come to me and you say, well, I'm this kind of a person, I do this kind of a job, I would like to come speak on your show, does it relate to my people? Does it help my people out? If it doesn't, I'm not going to have you on my show. Likewise, if I go to somebody and I say, I would like to teach on live streaming, and that person is a candle maker, does that have anything to do with their followers? Probably not so much. So I want to make sure that I am presenting a really good case. So let's just say I go to some amazing industry leader and I say, I would like to be on your podcast. I am someone who educates on live streaming. I would like to speak to your fans because I know that you teach on X, Y, and Z, and this is adjacent to what you're teaching or it's supplemental to what you're teaching. And I think it would add value to them because they can leverage what you're teaching and then actually do some of that on a live stream for their clients so they can grow their businesses. So I can help your clients in this way. And if I give them an actual reason as to why what I'm saying matters to their followers and how it grows their following, that is absolutely going to get their attention. So you have to show them how you can help. And not only do you need to show them how you can help their students, but you also maybe want to consider posing the question of, is this going to hurt your students if they don't have this education? Let's just say I am here to teach them how to live stream. And the person that is there, the person I'm speaking with, the host, teaches on course creation. So let's just say I go to someone who does course creation and I say, I think I can help your students by teaching them live streaming because it would supplement what they're doing in their courses that they are creating, that you're teaching them to create. And then I say, well, if they aren't doing live streaming in their businesses, they're missing out on these opportunities because, and I would talk about how live streaming is so important to the algorithms and all the stuff, we chat about all the time. So if I pose, here's how I can help, and here's how it actually hurts them if they don't get this type of education, that's going to be something that gets their attention as well. So you've got to make sure that you are talking about why it's important to their students and why it actually hurts their students if they're not providing this opportunity for them to learn about this topic. Does that make sense? Now, if you've got questions, if you've got comments, I would love to get those answered for you. Go ahead and jump into my chat box, jump into my comments down below, and let's get these answered for you as we continue our conversation about how you can make yourself an irresistible guest for podcasts and live broadcasts. So at this point, you've already turned yourself into a really good option for them because you've shown them you've already done the work. You've got it all fleshed out. You know exactly what you want to teach on so that they don't have any concern, any worry, or any fear about what you may or may not say while you're on air. You've already told them, this is the topic I want to speak on. Here are the points, and here is how it helps your people or could potentially hurt them if they do not get this information, and I think I'm the right one to teach them. This is a great way to position yourself as a really good, really strong candidate for a guest spot on a podcast or on a live stream talk show because we want to make sure we're positioning ourselves correctly, right? You also need to make sure you're showing why it's supplemental to what your host teaches. So let's just say I was contacting a course creator. Okay, that's a fun one for today. So let's just say I've contacted a course creator and I want to teach on live streaming. They don't teach on live streaming. Their students don't necessarily need to learn live streaming to do the course creation that they're doing with that particular host. So why am I supplemental to that? Well, it kind of goes hand in hand. If they're teaching a course, they're probably creating videos. They're creating video content, and then they have to create that content to engage people to get into the courses that they're creating, right? So live streaming is a natural supplemental topic to go with that. And if I'm coming in to teach them how to live stream really well, maybe they already know how to be on camera. Maybe they already have a good camera presence. They're just not sure of the whole live stream part of things. Maybe they don't know the technology. Maybe they don't know how to engage people. Maybe they don't know how to actually do a presentation without starting and stopping their video camera and then splicing it together. What I'm teaching is adjacent to that. So if you come in and say, here's what I'm teaching, here's why it's connected to what you're teaching, but is not exactly what you're teaching, here's how I can add benefit and value to your people, that's an automatic, I need to get this person on my show, right? But you also want to make sure that as you're having this conversation, you have shown your host that you have studied them. So a lot of people will just blanket reach out to people and say, I would like to be on your show. I would like to be on your show. I've heard of you before. I would like to be on your show. I can teach this. I can do that. But if you don't show that you've actually taken the time to learn about the host, and more importantly, the people who follow the host, the people the host is serving and teaching and educating, if you don't know their audience and you don't know their platform, that means you're not going to be able to serve their audience as strongly as you should be. So you need to show that you've done at least a little research. You don't have to listen to the entire 300 episode podcast, but you should listen to an episode or two. You should go to their website. You should explore what they're doing. You should download a freebie or two. You should know who you're talking to, because you need to be able to communicate with the host, but you also need to be able to communicate with their students and educate them in the way that that person teaches. Sometimes your way of teaching is going to be different than my way of teaching. Your way of teaching is going to be different than the host's way of teaching. And the people who show up to your host's show knows and is familiar with a specific way of speaking, of educating, of teaching. And you might have to position yourself a little bit differently. You might have to teach a slightly different way. You might have to answer questions just a little bit differently. You need to be able to speak to their audience where their audience is. So doing your research, knowing who you're talking about, knowing who you're talking to is going to make you look so much better, and is going to show them that you are going to be way more effective than somebody who hasn't looked at all, right? So you got to prove that you have actually checked it out. You may, when you're contacting them, want to say, I listened to a couple of episodes of your podcast, or I'm a fan of you. Take the time to look them up and know exactly who you're talking to, because it's going to show if you didn't. Okay, now, after that, you also need to show that you have some credibility, which means you need to be prepared to kind of back yourself up. Now, I know some of you who are here watching today are brand new to this. This is your first time looking for podcasts and talk shows to be on. And if you guys did not check out last week's episode of the Social Media for Bosses talk show, we did actually break down 5 really great places that you can be finding live stream and podcast places that you can be a guest speaker on. So make sure you check out that episode. We had some cool things connected to that. And we actually were giving away some freebies. So you don't want to miss out on that one, especially when it comes to contacting people about your show and about being on their show. So make sure you check out that episode here on our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe and notification bell if you have not hit that one already. And then you actually need to have something to back yourself up. So what does that look like? If somebody reaches out to me and they've got absolutely nothing to show for themselves, they've never done anything, if this is their first time, will I consider it? I will. But if I have somebody who's already done some things, or at least has some things to show me, I'm going to be more likely to book them on my show than somebody who is brand new, because I really don't know how they're able to speak, how they're able to deliver their content, what they're going to be capable of. Is it going to end up being someone who comes on my show and freezes, or just gives one-word answers, or can't have a conversation with me? I kind of like to know these things, and I like to know that they have the knowledge that they say that they have. So if you've been on other shows, link it. Please show me. Show me that you've been on other people's podcasts or live stream shows. Show me videos that you've created and put out on YouTube. Show me your own shows. So if you're a talk show host and you want to come over and be on my talk show, show me some of your episodes so that I know what I'm working with, so I can be prepared, so I can make sure that our styles are going to be similar enough, or that I feel like you are confident enough in what you're teaching that I can be confident in you to put you on my show. If you've written articles, if you've done blog posts on your own, I don't care what it is, just send me some links so I can see that you know your content and that you're going to be able to deliver that really well. And then if you've had appearances at like conventions or events and things like that, I understand you might not have necessarily links to that, or you might not have video of that. Sometimes those are very closed door things. So at least let me know that you have been booked at these different conventions and events and summits to have these conversations with people, so that I know that other people have in fact put their trust in you, and you have in fact delivered. Making sure that you are showing off your own shows, your own videos, your own articles, or articles, videos, talk shows, podcast episodes that you've done with other people. That is really, really, really going to lend to your credibility, and that bumps you up way higher on my list of people to get on my shows. And I know when I am telling other people that I've done all the things that I've done, it 100% helps me. I've gotten some really cool celebrity guests for my shows simply because I can come in, and at this point in my career, I can say I've done all these things, I've spoken at all of these events, I've worked with all these people, and now it looks really good for me. So it's easier for me to get positions on live stream talk shows and on podcasts. And the more you build that up, the better it's going to be. Now, if this is helpful to you, we're not done yet. We still got some to go. But if this is helpful to you, make sure you are letting your friends know. Bring them on over to the party so that they don't miss all the fun, so that we can get everybody on more talk shows and on more podcasts. All right, friends, let's take a deep breath because we are about to dive in to more of this. I want to make sure that as you are doing this, you are aware that sometimes you are actually going to be reaching out to people, and sometimes people are going to be reaching out to you. If you're newer to this, you're more likely than not reaching out to people to be on their shows. So when it comes to something like that, you want to make sure you kind of have those bullet points of the things that you're known for. So what are those topics you're teaching on? You don't want to teach about anything under the sun. I understand, especially if you're like me and you're an educator, you are going to have a lot of topics that you can speak on. But I want you to have like 3 or 4 that you consider yourself an expert on, and that other people can consider you an expert on, so that whenever you're booking a position to speak, you're always speaking on one of those 4 topics. And those can change yearly, whatevs. But you got to have something to fall back on so that you are seen as the expert in that area. Because if you teach on this thing and then that thing and then that thing and then that thing and then that thing, you're going to be all over the place. So for me right now, I'm speaking on Instagram. I'm speaking on live streaming. I'm speaking on Facebook. I'm not necessarily speaking on web design as much right now. I'm not necessarily speaking on newsletters as much right now, even though that's something in the past I have very strongly educated on, and I still educated on my channel. But that's not something that people book me in to speak about right now, because that's not what I'm focused on. So you have to have very detailed topics when it comes to the things that you are actually educating on, so people know what to expect from you, and so that you are actually going to be booked in for those things and seen as the expert. Makes sense, right? Get down in my comments and let me know, what are those detailed topics that you speak on? What are those maybe 3 or 4 things that you really want to be known for and to speak on right now in the industry for maybe the rest of this year? What is it that's actually working for you and you want to make sure that you are known for within your industry? What are those 3 things? Get down in my comments below and let me know. All right. So what happens if you are not necessarily reaching out to individuals? You're not necessarily researching them. You're not necessarily going to them one-on-one. What happens if we're talking about instead posting in forums? That's a fun typo there. Yes, people. There we go. Okay. Sorry, friends. So what if you're posting for many people to see this? Let's say you're inside of a Facebook group. You guys know I have created a Facebook group to find places for you to speak on live streams. There are podcasting places where you can find people to speak on your show or to go and speak on other people's shows. So what happens if you're posting for a lot of people to see, as opposed to going directly to one person and having a conversation one-on-one with them about their particular shows? It's going to change things just a little bit. So if you go to a person and you say, I want to speak on your show, here's the topic. You're giving one topic with the bullet points. You're doing 1 point and 1 position for this. You are not kind of blanket saying, okay, here are the 3 or 4 different topics that I speak on. Would you like me to speak on one of these? You're giving very specific content when you're going directly to people. When you are posting in a group or something like that, it's going to change just a little bit, which means you have to be prepared. So this is the point where we are getting into our web design conversation. You have to have some things on your website so that you're ready to go, so that you're positioning yourself to move forward with these speaking engagements and to get more speaking engagements. So you're not going to do a really long novel length post. I know some of us do. right here, I'm an international best-selling author. That was hard, guys. So I do like my words and I like to write things, but I've learned that people don't like big blocks of text. That is not something people like. Please don't do that. Instead, have a really well-designed web page so that you can just give the highlight information in your posts and then redirect them to your website. So what do you need to have on that page on your website? Well, you need to have your different content topics. So what are those 3 to 4 things that you are going to be speaking on this year? What are those 3 to 4 things you're going to be focused on when you are doing your traveling or your speaking or your podcast or your live streams or your whatever? List those there. You also want to make sure you're listing any of your credentials. You do want to be showing examples on your website. So you want to make sure that if you have been on other live streams or podcasts, you're linking those. If you've written articles, you're linking those. If you've been to different conventions, you're linking those. In fact, if you go over to my website, I had that baby splashed everywhere. I've been to so many conventions and events just in the last year. I've been on so many big news outlets. I've been featured in so many websites and different magazines and articles and things. I have all those things linked there with a logo so that people can see other people have put trust in me. Here's what I can do, and here's how I deliver. So that is all there for them to see. I link up the videos, I link up the podcasts, I link up anything that's going to be working in my favor to show them that I am someone who knows what I'm talking about, and I've got that out there ready to go. So I have all my topics on my website, and then I've got examples on my website as well, so that when they decide they want to speak to me, they can say, okay, I have a business that's over here. I think it would work well with maybe this topic. What do you have for me over here? Then you can give them the bullet point list as you are having your conversation with them, but that's a good introduction to you. Now, another thing I want you to do is to have your media ready to go. So as a good guest on any show, you gotta have things ready to go. You should not take forever to reach out to people. Now, some people have a press kit. Some people have that media kit ready to go. Some people are ready with links so that people can just download things. For me personally, I do not like it when people send me a link to say, this is my media kit, go ahead and pull whatever you want. That's more work for me. So with media kits, people tend to have like a couple different headshots. They might have a couple different biographies. They might have different links. Like, they've got all the stuff on the page, and that's good. And they actually train you to do that in a lot of like businessy schools and courses and things like that. Drives me personally crazy, because as a show host, I need specific things, and I tell people I need specific things. Send me your headshot, send me a photo from the waist up, send me this type of biography, send me this type of social media. And if somebody has come to me and asked to be on my show, and I say, okay, I expect them to send me the specific things that I have said that I need for my show, not a link where I have to go and then pick between photos and pick between biographies and read through all the stuff and get all the links myself. I don't like that. Some people do. That's a personal preference. I don't like that. So I would read very carefully when you're having conversations with people so that they know what you are asking or what they are asking you for. So pay attention to what they're asking. If you want to have a media kit, great. Have it ready to go. But if they specifically say, okay, these are the things I need, just get the individual link to the headshot, to the photo, to the whatever. Just get the links, put them right in a row, and just send those to me so that I don't have to do extra work, so that your person who is hosting you does not have to do extra work. Take the work out of it. We're actually going to be talking about that in a little bit, but take the work out of it. Don't make it hard. If you create extra work for them, they're probably not going to have you back. All I'm saying. Okay, when you're creating your media, I want you to be aware that you do need to have a couple of different things. So you need to have a headshot. So just, shoulders up, a real nice clean headshot. This should not ever, 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 ever be a selfie. That's unacceptable. If it looks like a selfie, that's unprofessional. You don't have to have a professional photo taken. I know that costs money. I was a professional photographer. But you don't need to have a professional looking headshot. So even if you're taking a photo on your phone in your own home, for the love of all things good, please put your phone propped up and then put it on a timer and then take your picture, or have somebody else take your picture. Make sure it's well lit and make sure it's cropped properly. So you should be sending a square headshot whenever somebody asks for a headshot. That way they have the ability to turn it into a circular headshot if they need to, or they can leave it as a square, but don't make them do the work of cropping a rectangle. You need to make sure you have a waist up shot. Sometimes people are going to need things pulled back a little bit, especially if they're going to have to cut these things out. For me, when I have guests on, I need a photo of them from like top of legs or waist up so that I can cut it out and put it on my thumbnail to match what I'm doing. I don't want your background, I don't want your extra things, and I don't want your close-up headshots for those because it just doesn't work with the thumbnail. It takes up a lot of space, or it means that you're really tiny on the thumbnail and it doesn't help what I am doing within my thumbnail. So make sure you've got both a headshot and a waist-up shot, which that one does not have to be cropped square. That can be rectangular. And make sure those are always shot straight on. No weird down angles, no weird up angles. Make sure they're well lit. Make sure they're not pixelated. You can be professional if you want, or you can take them yourself on a nice camera or on your phone. Just make sure that you've leveled that up a little bit. And we've got lots of resources here on the YouTube page for that if you do need help with taking professional looking photos without the professional training, equipment, or price tag. So make sure you've got your photos there and ready to go. Make sure you've got your biography ready to go. So you're going to want a short one that's only a couple of words long. It's a little tagline just in case it's at the bottom of an article or if they're tossing it on the website, whatever it happens to be. And make sure you have a slightly longer one that's a little bit more detailed and sing some of your praises. So you want to have different lengths, and depending on what they need, you can then send those to them ready to go, but also have it on your website just in case they're going to need to grab that, or in case they are researching you so that it's there and ready and presentable for them as they are checking you out before they book you for the show. You also need to make sure you have your links ready. So that is your website and all of your social media links, and potentially your email if they don't already have that or if they need that for something. Or if you're giving away freebies or any extra content, get those prepared and ready to go to, and then send that all to your people when they need it, when they ask for it. All right, pro tip here. You want to make sure that you are showing how you have marketed other things that you have been working with. So other things that you are connected to, you got to show how you're marketing those after the fact. So have you been on other shows, other podcasts, other live streams? You want to make sure that with those, you are marketing them after. A lot of people will show up to live streams and podcasts and think that the host is going to do all the work, but they're not. It's only going to go as far as the host's audience. You need to be doing some of that work too. Bringing people to your host, that's going to be a surefire way to get yourself asked back. If you're helping to grow their community, if you're helping to leverage what they created with you, if you're helping to shout them out and show them off, 100%. Even if you floundered, even if you flopped a little bit on the live stream, if somebody is really good at marketing the episode afterwards, I am much more likely to consider bringing them back than I am if someone does a really nice show, but it doesn't go anywhere outside of my audience. If they're not doing things to say, hey, I was on this show, they're not really bringing all that much to the party, are they? Information is great, but I could probably teach that too. So they got to be able to market as well. So when you show that you have helped other people and you have marketed it, that you are shouting out their shows on your website, that you are posting their things in your, hey, look at me page, that you're sending out to people and showing them, that shows people that you are dedicated to this beyond what you can get out of it. So you want to make sure that you are showing that off to people as well, and that you are maybe even if you are really good at it, you could put a section on your website on that page that you're showing off on how you actually market. Feel free to spell it out for me. I want to know these things. That helps me to decide if you're a good fit for me or not when it comes to my show. Now, you also want to make sure that you are doing the work before they ask. So don't make them ask for all your stuff. Get everything ready to go and have it there. If they send you an email saying, great, I would love to have you on, can you please send me your headshot and your links? You need to immediately be able to reply as soon as you see that with that list of things. Don't take 8 days to get that to them. Don't take forever to get the things that they need. Have it there ready to go so that it's done before they ask. Have those bullet points ready to go. You know the drill. Have it ready to go. Show them that you are doing the work without them needing to hound you for it. Because if you've already got things done, you're good to go. And if there's something that they do need, get it done ASAP. Do not dawdle on this. Do not take forever, because when they know they can rely on you and trust you to get the things done, they'll make sure that they have you back. Truly. Now, I do recommend that if you are going on someone's podcast or talk show, that you consider offering a freebie. If you can come to my show and you can do really cool things to teach my audience, but then you show up with a checklist of freebie of some kind, a bonus, whatever, a PDF, a training manual, a guide, a decision chart, whatever, whatever goes with what you're teaching, like a 1 or 2 page document for a small win for my people, so that maybe they don't have to take notes, or maybe they can implement what you're teaching into their life right now. That is going to make you shine in the eyes of a podcast or live stream host. You got to be bringing the goods, not only the knowledge, but like the extra bonuses. Pretend you're Oprah giving out cars and just shower them with freebie love. It is so incredibly helpful and so incredibly important. So when you show up, if you say, hey, look, would you like this? They can say yes or no. Some hosts might say no, but totally try to offer a little bit more value, because people are going to see your episode. They're going to take some value away from what you're saying. But if you can actually hand them something with your name on it, that's going to make them a little more indebted to you, which means they'll probably check you out a little bit more. You might actually bump up your standing within the industry. And you can brand that to yourself, or you better yet, you can brand it to the person that you're working with. I know when I am creating freebies to give out to people, I make sure I have all my contact information on the bottom of whatever sheet I'm giving out, but I try to incorporate the colors of that person's branding or that person's vibes, the themes that they've got going on inside of their marketing. I try to make it go with them so that it looks like a part of their business, but it's also representing me. It's got my links on it and my information and my name. But you could also do it to yours. It really just depends on who you're working with. But I do recommend, if you can make it look good for them, always make your host look good. If you can make it look good for them and then get a little benefit out of it for you, you're doing way better than anybody else. Trust me. Now, like I said, you do need to be marketing after your episode airs. So as soon as you're done, start kicking it out to more people, and market it before it airs too. Like if you're going to be on a show, you need to tell your fans. Don't just assume your host is going to be bringing in their people to be listening to you, because reality check. When it comes to live streams, most people watch on the replay. You might get a good audience while you're live, but most people watch on the replay, which means you're not going to get as many questions. You're not going to get as much interaction. If you can bring some friends to the party and you can impress your host, hello, you've just made a new friend and somebody watching out for you. You want to make sure that you are marketing before, but especially after. So if you were on a YouTube channel, kick out that link. If you were on a podcast, kick out that link. Get people to go check it out, because, friend, that's your job. You're there. You're supposed to be bringing people to this party. So market, because they are marketing you. You need to be marketing yourself and also them, but yourself. I'm just saying, this is about you. If you're on somebody else's show, market yourself. Don't just assume they'll do it for you. And I also, of course, recommend that you are referring others back to your host. So if you've got somebody who you think would be a good fit for their show, let your host know, or let that person know that they should go check out your host and then say that you sent them. Making connections for people and acting as a matchmaker to bring other people who can supplement that person's show, that is going to make you stand out to them, and again, will get you asked back to the show. So when it comes to being a guest speaker on a show, you want to make sure that you are prepared. You say exactly what you're going to be saying on air so that it removes all doubt, all fear, all potential confusion, and gives them the opportunity to say, yes, this is a good fit for me. You want to make sure that you've done your research and shown them exactly what you know about their business and about their clients and how you can benefit them. Show how you supplement the things that they're teaching and how people could potentially be missing out on something really big if that host does not provide that opportunity to their community. You want to make sure that you are showing off all these really great things, and then you're totally prepared with all of your media that you need for them, and you've got your website there so that people who are maybe seeing you adjacently, maybe they're watching you on a live stream and just want to see more about what you're doing to see if they work for your or if you work for their show, or maybe you're posting inside of Facebook groups or whatever it happens to be. You've got that website ready to go so people can just check you out and automatically know if you are a good fit for them or not. And then you want to make sure that you are actively working to build up that person's community. So the more you do that, the more likely you are to get asked back, and not only get asked back, but like the good ones tell their friends about you. So not only are they pimping you out on their talk show, their podcast, their whatever, not only are they putting you on the internet, not only are they giving you a platform on which to speak, not only are they putting you on their website, all these fun, fabulous places, but we all talk. So if I know somebody good, I recommend them to somebody that they might fit or click well with. And that gets them more positions, which means if you come on my show and you do really well for me, you better believe I'm going to be taking you to other people so that you can be on their show too and add benefit for their clients, because friends bring their friends to the party, and we make sure we take care of each other because a rising tide raises all ships. So we want everyone to succeed, especially our friends, especially with people who are doing well working with our businesses as guests. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, I would love to hear from you guys. Jump down in my comments below and let me know, what do you do to get guest speaking spots on podcasts and on talk shows? I would love to hear from you guys, and I want to know what you want to see next from Social Media for Bosses. If you want to be a guest teacher here, speaking of, if you want to be one of my speakers, I would love to hear from you guys. Come on over to socialmediaforbosses.com/guests, and I will be giving you all the information you need about my shows, my podcasts, my live streams, all those fun, fabulous things, and how you can get involved and get a spot to speak in front of my audience right here on any of my shows. And I would love to hear from you. So let me know, what topic do you want to talk on? Send me your bullet points and show me you're prepared, and I might just put you on the show. Thanks guys so much for joining me. I do appreciate you being here. If you've not hit the subscribe and notification bell, now is the time, because we are going to continue our conversation about how you can grow your business in a profitable way through smart social media marketing. And tomorrow we're dropping that brand new video all about the new release from Instagram on Messenger Rooms and Facebook Messenger Rooms, how they're connected, how to use them button for button, and how you can be leveraging them in your business to make money and support your students. I'm so excited for this one. I can't wait, and I will see you tomorrow for this brand new video that releases tomorrow morning as we're breaking down everything you need to know. I hope you guys have a great day and stay inspired. Talk soon, friends. Bye-bye.